Hello everybody and welcome to Judge Mathas, the show where I look at a recently released game and tell you if I like it or not. Today we're taking a look at Hand of Fate, recently released on Steam for $19.99. It will be linked in the description below, and a game that I am surprisingly playing over and over again. It's kind of tough to describe what Hand of Fate is. On the surface, it's a dungeon crawling card game with a 3D brawler system. It's a collectible card game for those who are curious, and you kind of go through these dungeons and you collect these cards, which then in turn affects the gear your character is going to be carrying. So when you go into the 3D brawler segments, you end up either having benefits or negatives depending on what you pulled in the deck. Sounds confusing. It's really actually not that confusing once we get into it. So let's go in, let's talk mechanics, and let's play. By the way, one of the biggest aspects of this game is this guy right here. He is the dealer, he is the narrator, he is the central focal point for the entirety of this game. And he talks a lot. And that's not a bad thing. In fact, his narration, his voice acting, the lines he uses are so varied and so interesting and so well delivered that he actually makes up for a good chunk of the entertainment you're going to be deriving from this game. Unfortunately, because I'm going to be talking a lot, you're probably not going to hear a lot of him. I will do my best to let him talk every so often so you hear him. But honestly, his quips, his witticisms are really good, and I think really deserve the recognition that I might not be able to give it. So there are two modes, and story mode, endless mode. Endless mode is as it is, you play until you die. Story mode is kind of the meat of the game. We go to story mode and it pops open this card case right here. And this is really the most, this is most of the game. This is how it works. So at the beginning of your game, you're gonna open up this chest, and this chest will introduce you on this side to bosses. When you click on this card, you are determining the boss you are going to face at the end of the randomly generated dungeon. And then in turn, for defeating the boss, you will then reap your rewards. Every time you beat a string of 3 bosses, you will get a reward like this. For instance, we do have the goblet here. And the goblet's a special artifact, an artifact card. And the artifact card will give you bonuses, like your counterattacks do more damage, your increased stun, you get better starting gear, but also some negatives. So bandit strength is higher, skeleton strength is higher, and now bandits actually have a ranged attack. So they kind of have both, you know, they balance each other out. And that you can put this particular card in your deck. The next character we're going to be fighting here is the Jack of Scales. He, when you choose the dungeon you'll be going through, you're going to see not only the character you're going to be fighting, but the burdens that are going to be slapped on to the dungeon crawling experience itself. So for instance, in this dungeon, heavy arrows will happen. In combat, projectiles travel at half their usual speed, but inflict twice the damage. So they'll be a little easier for us to dodge, but they'll be doing a lot more damage. And mana drain. Cooldown for weapons and artifacts are now doubled. So if I have a special weapon that might do like a special AoE attack, the cooldown for it is happily doubled. And then a couple of extra challenges that will be within the enemy's deck or the dealer's deck one way or another. So we go ahead and click select,
suit of scales,
and now we go to the deck builder.
By these lizard men.
We'll let him talk.
Patient, lethally subtle, and coldly intelligent. Of all the creatures I have incarnated as suits, these please me the most.
So as I was saying, there are the decks that you have and the deck that the enemy has. So, and I shouldn't say enemy, that the dealer has. So your deck is this one right here. It consists of equipment, shields, armor, and artifacts, as well as many, many other things later on down the line. In the beginning, it's kind of basic. You have basic swords, basic maces, and all that stuff. But as you progress through the game, you're going to start getting much, much, much better cards. So you're going to get like Scorching Zeal or Life's Limb, all of which do different things. For instance, Life's Limb is new, and we can't actually tell what it is. That's a bad example, Mathas. Let's try going to Scorching Zeal. So Scorching Zeal is a really good weapon that does 32 damage. It has a aura of fire. So if I press the 1 button, it will do this AoE fire burn and burn a bunch of enemies as well as hurt them along the way. Now, if you have a new card, you actually don't know what it does until you actually draw it. And the way you get cards is by completing challenges, which are going to be within the enemy's deck, the dealer's deck. I apologize. Enemy, I see him as an antagonistic force. You can see I have a lot of new cards in this deck that I haven't used yet, and that I'm going to be leaving in here for a while. Everything else in here I've used except for this one. So let's go ahead and let's pop out Fool's Gold. I don't really like this card all that much, and we'll put in this artifact of Time Heals so we can figure out what it does. And then, of course, you have the dealer's deck, of which you can actually modify. The dealer's deck comes with a bunch of challenges, a bunch of encounters, and with them, a myriad of different rewards. At the bottom, you can see these little golden tokens. This means I haven't actually beaten this encounter yet. If I do beat the encounter, this little golden token will disappear off the card. Let's see if we can find one. Yeah, so these I've already beaten. When you beat a new encounter, what happens is you get this golden token in your bowl, which we'll take a look at here afterward. And what that means is at the end of the adventure, if you beat the adventure, that golden token will provide you with new cards to add to your deck or the dealer's deck, depending. So we can actually go ahead and take a look, and you can actually tailor the deck to be easier or more difficult to you, depending on what you deem difficult and what not you don't deem difficult. The reason you wouldn't want to do that is because you would want to get more rewards. So, you know, I would maybe not want to keep Devil's Choice in here anymore, Ambush, and instead slap in a few of the things that I haven't beaten, like maybe Charity, Desert Storm, Warning Signs. And these will give me the opportunity to come across new cards and new rewards for beating them. Not only do you get these little tokens at the end, but each card, each encounter does come with its own built-in rewards. The lock at the top means it's in the deck no matter what, so I can't actually take these out. So they stay within the deck itself. So as you might suspect, well, Mathas, this seems weird. If you can kind of build your enemy's deck or the dealer's deck, which is going to be your adversarial deck as you're going through, these all build the dungeon, you can kind of just make it easy. You're right to a point. But the dealer is going to end up putting his own cards in after you've built your deck. So you build your deck, you build the dealer's deck, you go okay, and then when you hit okay, he then interjects his own cards on the side to make it more difficult, to flavor it, to spice it up, so you can't make it too easy. So we'll go ahead and start this game, and the goal is to beat the Jack of Scales. So
you have taken one of my symbols, but now...
So as you can see, he's putting his own things in there.
My scepter is at stake, and I do not intend to lose it.
So he's talking about the fact that this scepter's at stake. This is the artifact card that we're gonna get for beating his thing. So this is really cool. The music, the way he shuffles his deck, the way he gives you his deck, it's very, very cool. A lot of the game is taking place on this table. So it's very important that the presentation of the game itself is going to be appealing for you to watch, to look at, to enjoy. And this is what I'm talking about. The game comes off as rather simple, and in practice, it actually is kind of a simple game. There's a lot of chance, a lot of randomness involved, and in order to make a game that's a simple appealing, it has to be visually enticing. It has to really spark that imagination, spark that wonder, that curiosity, that mystery in you as the player. And this dealer is that. He is the mystery. He talks about the game. Why are you here, adventurer? Why are you playing this game with me? Do you know what's at stake? Do you know why this is going on? And all the while, you're not quite sure why you're here. They don't explain it in the beginning of the game of why you're here playing this game with this dealer. He talks about how powerful he is, but he does it in such subtle ways. And he likes to taunt you, but every time you overcome a relatively difficult challenge, he does say kind of a good job and well-deserved. At the same time, if you're doing something easy, you come across an easy card, or maybe you've come across the same easy card multiple times in the dungeon, he will comment on that, saying, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to trick me? Are you trying to make the game easier on yourself? It's really fun. So, as you can see, as the game starts, he lays out this kind of path. This is representative of the rooms, quote unquote, in a dungeon. Think of these as Binding of Isaac rooms or any other roguelite rooms. They're randomly laid out every time. I've played the same boss a couple of times to see if the room layout is different, and it is. So it's not the same game every single time you go through it, outside of the fact that you're kind of tailoring what rooms are going to be in it by building a deck. This is your character right here. So we're going to go to our first one. We have a pretty direct path. Every once in a while, he'll build a dungeon that has a couple of offshoots where you're going to have choices on what you want to do. And every time you move, you're going to go ahead and use one of your food. So this is how the mechanics work. Click on one area, it's going to use a food. You'll also heal 5 health. Once you run out of food, you start bleeding health every time you move. There will be events that give you food, that give you gold, that give you health, this, that, and the other, and depending on the draw, could make the game really easy, really difficult, or somewhere in between. So let's go to our first card. We're gonna get the Helpful Priest. There's a lot of reading involved in this game too. It's very indicative of older, it reminds me a little bit of D&D in the older D&D, like dungeon crawling D&D. So we're going to go ahead and go see what the helpful priest has for us. You meet a wandering priest who greets you in a friendly manner. For a small share of your provisions, I will bless you in the name of by the old god. So we can give him half of our food, and in turn he'll bless us, which could give us a number of different buffs throughout the game. The problem is we're very early within this dungeon, and giving up half of our food when we only start with 10 is really risky. If we were somewhere in the 20s or 30s of food, which I've had happen before, no problem. Also, as you can see, there's no golden coin here, so I've gone through this card already. So for me, it's not a big loss to say, you know what, I can't give you any of my food, I'm sorry. So we'll decline him. No? Well, I'm sure you won't need help for the gods where you're going. Farewell. And then he just says, you know, goodbye, and the card gets flipped over. Easy enough. Next one. Twisted Canyon. This comes up a lot, but this is easy.
Every game.
So this is basically going to say we have a weapon. So the game starts you with a basic axe and a basic shield. As you go through the game, there's going to be opportunities for you to get better equipment. This is one of those opportunities. So you see a weapon glinting in the sunlight lying next to a skeleton at the bottom of the canyon. We're going to go ahead and try to climb down and retrieve the weapon. We then have a 3 out of 4 shot to actually get it. If we fail, something bad can happen. If we succeed, we get to draw a weapon card, and one of the weapons that we have in the deck becomes ours. And we succeeded, luckily. So let's go ahead and take the weapon. So we're going to be able to draw it, and it's going to flip over until we find a weapon. There we go. We found Life's Limb. Press 1 to inflict a curse of weakening on the enemies close to you. Strike a cursed enemy for bonus damage. This also removes the curse. Okay, cool. So we can weaken somebody and then do some big damage to him. It's going to be better than our current really bad weapon, which is just an axe. So it's a little bit better, but still better, and has this cool ability. We'll go ahead and equip it. It'll replace the axe, and it'll go away. Next up, we have a shop. If we had gold, I might want to actually go to the shop and buy some things. You can buy new weapons, armor, and stuff for this adventure only. Any gold you gather in this adventure does not carry over to the next adventure. So if you want to spend your money if you can. We don't have any gold, so we can't really spend anything. So let's go ahead and just pass by the shop. There's no need. Pretty tame first level. And now we're going to get attacked by goblins. Goblins are annoying because they take some of your food and some of your gold and usually your shield, and you have to kill them in order to get it back. So let's go ahead and do that. They're usually not that difficult. And we're going to take a look at the 3D brawling system now. Before we get into it, the easiest way to describe it is a kind of crappy version of Batman Arkham Asylum. The fighting system is actually one of the weakest aspects of the game in general. It's basically attack, counter, attack, counter, attack, counter. And I've had almost no problem winning every single fight I've come across so far. Actually, the introduction of the fight is one of the coolest parts. Let's let this go. So you can see, you equip yourself with the weapons, boom, as you have them. So we're just going to kind of run up, and we're going to left click to swing, and then Q does the counter if these goblins even attack us. Let's take him out first, and we're just going to do this. What really makes, you know, Batman combat kind of... Oh, damn it, this trap's in this area, I didn't realize. What makes the Batman combat really good is, like, really solid animations and really responsive controls. This game is built on the Unity engine, and it kind of shows when it comes to its, I don't know, combat fidelity. There's not a lot here. The animations are very janky. There's obviously missing connecting animations between one attack and another. And in doing so, it doesn't feel solid. It's functional. The combat is functional, but it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good like it does in Batman or maybe Shadows of Mordor. Very few games that try and pull off the Batman combat they don't do it well. Only a couple have done it really well. And unfortunately, this game doesn't do it well enough. And I really would urge developers, if you're going to try and do like combat in your game, in a game that's not necessarily all about combat, maybe don't try and reach so far as to do something like the Batman combat. Try something else. There could have been a bunch of different ways you could have gone about this. The Batman combat just doesn't feel right in this game. I understand you want to do a combat, and I'm totally for you trying to do something a little different and bring out a different aspect of the game to make the cards that you're drawing feel like there's weight to them. So you pull a really powerful weapon card, and now you actually get to play with that weapon. I get the immersion factor there. I just wish it had gone down a little different. I don't know what you could have done different, but I think the Batman combat was a little bit off. Luckily, I'm still adoring this game. So let's see. We're gonna get the maiden. This is good, actually. I've come across her many, many times. Basically, you get to choose one resource you want more of. I'm gonna take food this early on. So one day, in a shady forest, you encounter an elf maiden. She stops to greet you. I am Marith of the Forest Folk. My people have long helped the mortals of this realm. What boon would you ask of me? Let's go ahead and ask for supplies. The bread will sustain you for many days. The dealer now gets to draw 2 food gain cards, which we will add. Wow, that's the best one. So we gain 10 food for that. Yeah, I sure am grateful for that. Thank you, sir. And then 5 food. That's the second best one. We have a lot of food now. Very, very happy about that. And now we get to move on to the next floor. The ladder escape. So we're just gonna head down to the next floor. This basically will go down the ladder. It'll get rid of this particular quote-unquote dungeon. And now we build up the next one. So we have a choice to go down here and then over this way. We might as well go here. We have a lot of food.
It is a pleasure to see you play. A ship at dock is worth nothing until it sails.
Awesome. All right, let's take a look at what this is. A winding trail.
An ambush. Hardly fair.
So, suddenly a tree falls across your path, blocking the way ahead. The dealer draws 1 monster card. Draw 1 monster card. So, he's going to be able to draw 2 monster cards. Because I have to draw 1, he has to draw 1. That determines what I fight.
Perhaps this time.
So we're going to be fighting 3 mages and 2 skulls. Which is kind of annoying. The undead's easy. The mages are kind of a pain in the ass. Weapons bristle from the trees around you. Their wielder's face obscured by the undergrowth. Give us all your gold or die. So we have 2 choices. We can just give them our gold, or we can attack the coward of the band for daring to threaten you. Because the combat's pretty easy, let's go ahead and fight them. And we'll probably get a reward for it as well. So the battle begins. I also want to show you, let the animation do it again, because I love the opening animation to these combats. It's so cool. It's so cool. They did a very smart thing by going for a very stylistic, artistic art style here. You know, with Unity, you're not looking at the most powerful graphical engine in the world, and some of the best looking games are the ones that do this. So we're getting attacked by, you know what? We're gonna go over to the mages because they can do some ranged attacks. Oh Jesus. Okay, we gotta pay attention here. I'm talking too much. So obviously, when the green over their head shows up, it's your cue to counter. It's pretty simple. Ooh, they just fucking wrecked face. That's why mages are a pain, man. I don't know how he did that. Oh god, move. Let's go ahead and knock him on the ground. We're actually gonna die, it looks like. Here I am saying it's really easy, and then I'm getting a little silly. Let's go ahead and avoid him. Okay, so we weakened him up. Oh god. I gotta take him out. So we're gonna get through this combat, I think. I think we're gonna get through this combat, no problem. We took a lot of damage there because honestly, mages are a little bit more of a pain in the ass. Luckily, as we move throughout the dungeon, we'll heal up and hopefully we won't have to deal with mages for a little while. So we're gonna get 2 gain cards. We could possibly heal up a little bit from this. We're gonna get 1 equipment. That's actually good. Healer's ring. Whenever the player receives healing, they also gain +1 gold.
Life better for others. Now in
Not bad.
Hands.
I'll take it.
Such a waste.
See, he's taunting me, telling me that that item's a waste on me. And we got some money. So if we come across like a traveling healing or a bandit or whatever, we could do that. Actually, you know what we could do? I wonder. We could actually just go back and forth and heal up a little bit and using some of our food. Not gonna though. Dead Man's Gorge.
I'm sure it's not.
This is put in by him. That's what this is.
Without reason.
That's what this symbol means. It means he put this in the deck. It's not part of the deck I built. While crossing the ancient rope bridges of Dead Man's Gorge, you hear sounds of movement from below. It's an ambush. So only 1 monster card. 4 plague. All right, they're not that terrible. We actually can go ahead and skip this animation now. We've seen it a bunch of times. So a bunch of rats. Rats are kind of annoying because they can poison you. The most annoying ones are the ranged ones, though, and I've come across the rats a bunch. Oh, red means you can't avoid it, and you just need to kind of dodge roll, space to dodge roll. And they leave a poison cloud in their wake of being dead, so they're kind of trapped. The corpses are kind of traps afterward. All right, well, we'll use some more food and heal up a bit here. 2 gain cards from that, which is nice. I would like you to heal me, though. So we might as well use some of that food to heal up. There we go. Alright, traveling healer. Well, what do you know? We have enough gold, we might as well pop by. In a shady groove off the beaten path. You find a traveling merchant looking to trade for wandering adventurers. Let's go ahead and approach the shop. Greetings, wife traveler. I have much to offer you. So we have 58 gold. We'll heal up a little bit here. So we can kind of load up our character. We could skip this, but we're just gonna walk on up. We don't get our weapons or anything. We don't have any curses. Let's just heal our wounds. 10 health for $6. 15 health for 8.
The pendulum can swing both ways.
Let's go ahead and do that a couple of times. I think 73 is plenty. We have some food now. Let's buy ourselves 5 food. Replace some of the food we used, and we have nothing else. I don't have anything really to sell because we haven't gotten a lot of extra loot yet. The only loot we've gotten we're wearing, so let's hang on to it. Next up. Aha! So this is different. Devil's Carnival. I haven't beaten this one yet. I've come across it before, but I've not beaten it because it's actually...
Let us take a token on their foolishness.
So here we go. He pulls a token out. That's what this represents. And this one is actually a lot of chances involved in whether we beat this one or not. Some of them are not chance, some of them are combat, but this one's pretty chance heavy. So one day, just as dusk gathers, you reach a large country town hosting a traveling circus. Strange sights and stranger smells confront you as you begin to wander between the tents and stalls that were once brightly colored, but now are faded and stained with dust. Peasants and nobles alike wander the streets and alleys, past wonders and amazement, seemingly almost dazed. There is something about the place that dulls your senses, and for a while, you forget your quest. Forget even the path that brought you to this place. So, it's, we have a small percent chance for success, huge success, failure, and huge failure all come with their own penalties. So we succeeded. We didn't get huge success, but we succeeded. You drift along the various stalls and booths, stopping to look at whatever catches your eye. The mysteries of the carnival await you. Alright, so again, it's like heavily chance focused. See what we pull. Huge success. Oh, that's awesome. Last time I failed pretty hard. You pass a stall that presents a wide variety of colored vials, elixirs, and potions for a sale. A young woman sees your interest and gestures to a bright green mixture, saying with a thick accent, "Care to taste? It not cost gold." You take a sip of the liquid and then suddenly decide to drink down the entire bottle. After a moment, you feel refreshed and full of energy. "No, no," says the woman, waving away your coin. "I say, the price you pay not gold. You pay later." The dealer draws you 1 max health gain card. So we're going to heal up pretty heavily here. So he's got to come across one, and that means going through a lot of this. There we go. So the max health gain is going to up our max health by 5, and we heal by 5 as well, which is nice. You leave the stall feeling fit but confused at the woman's cryptic words. What could the price be if not your gold? Sometime later, you find yourself standing at the edge of a forest. The sound of the crowd is behind you. Day is just dawning, but which day? Looking back, you see the ruined buildings of a country town, long ago abandoned. So we didn't get the token. We haven't gotten the best outcome of that yet, unfortunately. So he puts the token back. If we get it, he scoops up the coin and puts it in our little bowl here, which is awesome. I don't know what it is. It's just the little details like that as you play truly make this game something slightly more than it could have been, and I love it for that. So what do we got? All right, sleep at the end. This is a new card I actually got last time.
Would go through a sleeping man's belongings.
I would, apparently.
I will happily wager on the outcome.
All right, so he's going to pull out a coin.
You have what it takes.
Whilst sleeping at an inn, you jolt awake to find a bandit rifling through your belongings. You are quick to your feet, weapon already in hand. The bandit laughs, clearly drunk. "Either there, princess. Spare an apple, would you? He's a good lad." He stands unsteadily, clutching a stolen apple and some coins. You grab his arm in protest and earn a punch to the face. "Looks like Nancy here wants a fight." The bandit laughs again, spits at your feet, and turns to leave. So we can attack him, or we can lower the weapon. Let's attack him. With one practice swing, you execute him, a surprised gasp in the last sound he makes. Suddenly, the room's filled with bandits' lackeys. So lots of bandits, we gotta fight. 5 of them. 5 bandits. I wonder what would have happened if we let him go, what would have occurred, if we would have gotten the coin or not. So we have to deal with 5 bandits. Should not be that big a deal. Bandits are pretty simple. So we can reflect projectiles. Go ahead and do that. Ooh, little frame drop there. That's weird. Deflect that. So, oh, it looks like we cursed a bunch of them. Oh, well, we finished them all. The curse actually hit them all, which is great. because they all got super weak. This sword's nice. I prefer the big hammers that do a lot more damage and like some elemental attacks, but that sword was pretty cool. Thieves dealt with. You accidentally wipe your brow with a hand slick with the blood that has run down your weapon. You turn hoping to find a wash basin and find yourself once again in the presence of the ghost from the forest. So this, by the way, this card is directly connected with the card that I succeeded on the last run, and I got this card because of it. Huh. Its eyes, so familiar, so real compared to its shifting body, look at you in fear. You took their lives so easily. Are you already lost? Remember who you are, who you were. I have lingered too long in this place. It drains so. Do not forget me. You blink and the ghost is gone, those eyes gone. Ah, so we shouldn't have fought them. We should have let him have it. Alright, now we know what to do next time we come across this card. And now we just move on to the next floor. So that's really interesting, a really interesting aspect of the game, where certain cards will, once you get their token and get the card that you get for beating it, will then lead to something else in the next one. And there's all this own little story kind of tied in, which is awesome. I like that a lot. I sat here for a long time trying to struggle for a while, for the past couple days, trying to understand why I fell in love with this game. And to be honest with you,
play the game.
See, this guy's asking me why I'm playing, and then saying I won't tell him.
Like all the rest.
To be honest with you, the reason like this game really gets me is its presentation. I just think that the game has a lot of different aspects to it, with the collectible card game, the slight roguelike elements, the 3D brawling system, that are all functional enough on their own, but brought together in the manner this game does, makes it something special. And I appreciate that. We got a treasure chest.
A treasure chest?
Ah, yes.
What more iconic emblem of success could we imagine?
While exploring a dungeon, you see a treasure chest at the end of a hall. The chest may hold great wealth, but the chamber may be trapped. We'll try it. So it's 50-50 shot. We'll go with this one. Okay, good. So that's fine. We didn't get trigger any traps along the way. You approach the treasure chest. The treasure chest looks battered, but still intact. What treasure might it hold? So we're going to try and pry it open. So 3 out of 4th shot that we should be okay to get this. And we succeeded. Good. So we're going to get some treasure out of this. After a mighty heave, the lock gives way and the spoils are yours. We get 4 gain cards. That's awesome. So we got 15 gold, 10 gold. We got extra equipment. So sweet. We're going to get a helmet that's going to give us a little
An item
defense.
that tells you how to move quickly, but tempts you to take your time.
All right. Ah, local peasant. Okay, I've done this one already.
Mouths.
While crossing a forest clearing, you meet a peasant woman. Greetings, stranger. The winter has been hard on my family's here. In the forest behind her, you sense movement. So I'm going to give her 5 food, which is what I gave her last time. The woman takes your food eagerly, passing it to some children who suddenly rush from the forest, hands outstretched. So the first time I came across this card, they didn't tell you there were kids in there, obviously, and you had to make a decision. Do you think she's trying to jump you, or do you think she's going to be honest? And I trusted her to be honest, and luckily that was the right way to go. So she's going to go ahead. You have given us enough food to survive the winter, stranger. She retrieves a sack from behind a bush. This is my husband's before he died. Please accept it as thanks. So draw 1 gloves card. So it's going to get until we get some gloves, it looks like. If we have any. There we go. Increases the wearer's movement speed. Very nice. So a little bit of bonus there.
Of each type of equipment.
So we're combat ready. Got a little achievement there. And then she tells me about the surrounding area, which is awesome. So the way we need to go, it looks like, is hitch a ride. That's the way to the next floor. We've got a couple of areas that possibly could give us some gold. So let's go up there and ignore these. I don't really need to go see the traveling mage. Mage. So let's go up here. Battle at Brooktop.
These places are right.
New card. A light draws you to a nearby hilltop where you see a warlock disappear in a cloud of sulfur, leaving behind his summoned minions. Draw 2 monster cards. Looks like we might just have to fight, and we'll get the card. So we'll fight. The plague rats will be our focus. Skull's not so bad. So I don't actually want to see me equip the gloves unless they automatically come equipped. I don't think I've seen that animation yet. So there's our armor. Gloves. Oh, they just appear on him. Helmet, I like he just puts on. Shield. Weapon. We can skip now. So we obviously have ourselves a rat there that does ranged attacks. We're just going to kind of... I was hoping to kill him off. Come on. We can fight off these skeletons until their arms come off. We'll remove their shield. There we go. Nice and easy. The ranged rats died pretty quickly because we cursed them, which was awesome. Now the cooldowns are doubled, obviously, on this dungeon run. So the card that we're using right now is not as or the weapon we're using right now is not as effective as it could be. But we got him, so he's gonna give us 2 gain cards. We're gonna get more food, which is good because we gave him a lot of it. Awesome, we got a lot of food there, and we get the token.
Your token. Well done.
So hey, we got some spare cards for when we beat this. New cards for us, and then Desert Storm, which is possibly more.
Is the greatest threat, even with the queen now dispatched.
You are now traveling through a desert when a dust storm approaches. You may be able to reach safety of some nearby hills before the storm hits you. Let's stay where we are and see what happens. 50-50 shot. Damn it. So we failed. The dust storm rages on for hours. You spend much time afterward recovering. The card's token. Oh, we actually got it. You spend much time afterwards recovering your gear, but fear some of it may be missing. So we're going to lose something, but we're going to get the card's token. So we lost some equipment, but we got the card in turn. I'm okay with that. I'm curious what we lost. So we'll go ahead and hitch a ride.
Better than trudging along a muddy road.
Go down to the next dungeon run.
The lizard men are nothing if not patient.
So the boss is going to be on this floor somewhere. Ugh, ratmen. Annoying. It's only one set. Oh my god, 6 of them. Ugh. Did we lose our shield, I wonder? No, we lost our weapon. So we're wielding this axe now. It's not much less powerful than our old weapon. It's just we don't have the curse anymore. It does 2 less damage, which is not that big a deal. Some of these rats have unavoidable attacks. Yeah. So like it's also hard to tell. You can lose your combo in these fights pretty quickly because it's really hard to tell when an enemy just falls to the ground and when he dies. You lock onto an enemy and can stand over him and attack him on the ground when he's on the ground, but only if you hit the attack button. So if you try and do that on an enemy that's already dead because he's on the ground, you think he's only on the ground, you'll lose your combo, which does suck. And as you can see, not all attacks kind of touch the enemy. It's not as good as it could be. Again, functional. Just could have been a little bit better. But we got him. And we got a food gain card, which is nice. I would like a better weapon. Hopefully we'll come across like a better weapon here. Chances are he's over here. So let's see if we can try that. Ooh, Heroes Remains.
So often this is how the story ends, is it not? The hero tries, the hero dies. Their memory is celebrated, but they are lost.
You pass a funeral. It's obvious from the size of the procession that the deceased was a well-loved figure. You are approached by a cleric. The great hero fell defending our beloved town of Wandermere. His sword and shield are powerful artifacts, but must return to his hometown for the proper burial rites to be completed. So let's go ahead and take on this quest. Thank you. This will mean the world to his family. The town would have revolted had the artifacts not been returned. It's not far to the hero's hometown. Look for the town cleric when you get there. So now this card, the town, well, we're going to get the weapons, first of all.
An elegant use
we'll wear it for now.
Anger.
We can actually equip this stuff for now, which is
barbarian
awesome.
Hordes.
So let's go ahead and equip these. Anger spirits dead delaying their property rights. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to find heavy burden. Oh, after 5 steps, player loses max health.
With that millstone around your neck.
So we have to, in order to get rid of this, we have to return the weapons.
Shops if you can find them. Still, I'm keen to see how you handle your disadvantages.
So there's Hero's Return. This is Wandermere, and we need to return it to there. So that's actually not that bad. We can go back this way easily. So we don't get to use the new weapon and shield because I'm going to be a good guy and return them.
Look deeply. This is the fate of heroes.
So, we can keep this gear, or we can return it to the town cleric. Return the hero's sword. Thank you. This blade will once again be wielded in righteous fury. Do you also have a shield? Yeah, we'll return his shield as well. Truly, you have done the Almighty's work in returning this shield. We get 2 blessing cards as well. And so we got the blessing of the self-righteous. On any hit, the player inflicts 2 more damage for each blessing they possess, which is great. We're going to do extra 4 damage because we're going to have 2 blessings. Whenever the player eats food, they gain twice the usual healing. Very nice. And we got the cards token, which is awesome. So there we go. The hero's return succeeded. More often than not, with these quests, being the good guy will gain you the token. You stumble upon a ratman hunting party. Prepare to defend yourself. So every once in a while this can happen where you come across like a ratman hunting party or whatever. This is the Jack of Plagues. It's a boss I've already beaten. He can come back because he's now part of the deck. Which is kind of cool. We'll just go ahead and skip ahead here. Now, the traps here. Deflect it. Okay, let's. You know what? Let's go take care of this guy. Let's go ahead and swipe over him. He's dead, hopefully. This guy is so annoying. I remember fighting him too, and he was really obnoxious back then too. We're losing a lot of health here. We gotta stop. He can wear himself out, at least. There we go. He's gotta take out his ads first. Luckily, that's gonna be it. Now I'm worried that might not be able to fight him. We might not be able to kill the boss because we took so much freaking damage. One food gain card. That's good because we can use it to heal a little bit. So we'll gain 5 food. I'll go ahead and actually use some of that to heal. Going back and forth. Alright, let's see. Here he is, Jack of Scales. This lizardman's potency allows him to nullify the magical abilities of players' weapons and artifacts. So our artifacts are not going to do anything. Our weapons are not going to do anything. But I think our blessings are going to kind of hold through this.
This token will unlock more cards.
So we already have 3 tokens, and he's going to get 2 more for beating him. So 5 tokens altogether for a bunch of cards to add to our decks, which are awesome. Now let's do this. Jack of Scales. So we got to fight 4 of his lizard men and him. He's kind of weird looking, not going to lie. Okay, let's do this. So let's go ahead and get out of the way of his dumb tail. Focus on his dumb lizard men. Looks like our equipment is fine, at least. It looks like he can hurt his own dudes with his tail, which is great. Nope, I don't want to fight you quite yet, sir. Just do lots of dodge rolling and you'll be fine. And we can't kill his own... Their shields because they're turtle shells, apparently, and that's just too much. Okay, we can actually... nope. I tried to counter that, but it didn't work. Just knock one of them over. There we go. We can just slice away at him. Somehow that hit. See, he blocked it. Sucks. Okay, 2 down. Get this one down now. And now we're going to be able to finish this one off. Good. I think we're just down to him now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oop, oop. Oh, come on. What? He didn't even do an animation there. He just kind of did damage. I think he was shield bashing me. Oh, yep, nope. He's still going to hit me there. Oh, come on. Oh, see? That's garbage. And we got him. Awesome. Wasn't that bad of a fight. A little bit of an annoying one, but we're good. Alright, we're going to get his Jack of Scales card, and we beat the dungeon.
Well played. Well played indeed. You have defeated something that I never expected to die.
Alright, so for getting that, we got a new artifact. The artifact's going to give us increased movement speed, food bonus when we start, so we'll have more food in the beginning, and better starting equipment. But on the offside, rat men are stronger, bandits are more hardy, and lizard men are much more difficult to fight at the same time. Now we get to crack open these tokens.
The wand represents my will in the purest sense. It is not too late for you to give up now. Go peacefully to your fate and leave me to mine. You begin to assemble a credible deck. Let us see what happens next.
All right, so this, for exploring Brooktop Hill, we got the altar. So I wonder if that's connected. This one is for surviving the desert storm. Lost in the desert, awesome. So that's definitely connected. For returning the belongings to the dead hero of Wandamir, you receive War Cry. So that's actually just a straight up bonus, so that whole quest line ended. As a reward for defeating the Lizardman Jack, you receive these new cards. One of them is going to be the Queen of Skulls, so that's going to be the next boss, it looks like. And then a couple of other things for new cards, and then a whole new weapon, it looks like. And then finally, a couple new pieces of gear to add to our decks. And that, my friends, is one game of Hand of Fate. And honestly, I'm really enjoying this game a whole lot. And again, it took me a while to figure out why, but it's just, its presentation and all the elements just work really well. It feels really good every time you unlock new cards, and every time you get a token, it's an adrenaline rush. You feel good that you're able to get more cards and that you get to add more cards to your deck, making you even more powerful so that you can kick this dealer's ass when he presents you a new challenge. The commentary of the dealer is varied. Very rarely have I heard the same thing repeated. He's witty, it's well voice acted. Just the overall package here is great. The 3D combat, the brawling aspect could be better. They could have done something completely different, but the overall package is so good that I can overlook that. Check it out, guys. You won't be disappointed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Judge Mathas. If you did, you know what to do by now. Drop a like, drop a comment, all that good stuff. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.